What I found in my husband's closet made me call the police. My husband handed me a box and said, "Just don't open it." 3 days later, the box accidentally popped open and I ended up calling the police. What was inside? A fortune? A crime? Or the most embarrassing mistake of my life? Let me tell you how I accidentally sparked a full-on investigation over glitter glue. My husband asked me to store a box in my closet. I accidentally opened it while he was on a business trip and ended up calling the police. The night before Mark left for his business trip, he handed me a box and asked me to keep it in my closet. "Just don't open it," he said with a playful smile, and I trusted him completely. We had been married for 4 years, and in those years, Mark had always been the kind of person who didn't hide anything from me. He was dependable, steady, and trustworthy. This was one of those moments when I didn't question him. I simply agreed. "Just don't open it?" I repeated, raising an eyebrow. "Why not?" A mischievous smile spread across his face, the kind that made his eyes crinkle at the corners. It was the smile I had fallen in love with all those years ago. "If I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise." "A surprise?" I frowned slightly, unsure. "But it's not my birthday or anything." "Trust me, Regina," he said softly as he handed the box to me. "Just keep it safe until I get back from Chicago. Please." I nodded, still a little confused but not worried. "You know this is going to drive me insane, right? Keeping a mystery box for 3 days?" He laughed, leaning over to kiss my forehead. 3 days. You can manage 3 days." As he turned to leave for the bedroom to pack his things, I settled onto the couch with the box in my lap. The mystery of it was already starting to eat away at me. I gave it a gentle shake near my ear. It didn't make much noise, so it was probably lightweight. I knew that if I didn't keep my promise, I'd regret it. Still, my curiosity burned like fire, and all I could think about was what could be inside that box. The next few days passed slowly. I kept the box hidden in my closet, trying my best to resist the urge to open it. But day 2 of Mark's business trip, as I was reorganizing my side of the closet, disaster struck. I had reached up to grab something from the shelf when my elbow brushed against the box. It had been placed precariously near the edge, and as I turned, I felt it topple. "Shit," I muttered under my breath, lunging forward in a futile attempt to catch it, but it was too late. The box fell to the floor with a soft thud, the cardboard flaps popping open just slightly from the impact. I froze, staring at the small opening in the box, heart racing. The curiosity that had been building up over the past 2 days surged to the forefront of my mind. I crouched down, the sound of the box hitting the floor still ringing in my ears. My hand hovered over it for a moment, but my thoughts were already spiraling. What if I just took a quick peek? Just a tiny glimpse, and then I'd close it again and pretend nothing happened. But even as I thought about it, I knew that was a terrible idea. Mark had been so specific. "Don't open it." And I trusted him, didn't I? I hesitated. The need to respect his wishes, warring with the gnawing desire to know what was inside. It wasn't just curiosity anymore. It felt like an obsession. What had he wanted to keep from me so badly? Slowly, I crouched down and reached for the box. The cardboard felt thinner than I had expected, almost fragile. With trembling hands, I peeled back the flap just a little more. The contents were partially obscured, but what I could see was enough to send a cold shiver down my spine. Inside, the box were small, neatly arranged bundles wrapped in plastic. They looked like money. A lot of money. My breath caught in my throat, and my heart thudded painfully in my chest. My mind raced, trying to make sense of it. Why was there so much cash in our closet? Why hadn't Mark told me about it? I quickly slammed the box shut and stepped back, my mind spinning. My hands were clammy, and a sense of dread settled in my stomach. I wanted to scream, to shout at Mark when he got home. What had I just discovered? Why was he keeping this from me? I couldn't sit with it any longer. My fingers fumbled for my phone, and in a daze, I dialed 911. I couldn't believe what I was about to do, but I couldn't make sense of it on my own. Something wasn't right, and I had to find out what it was. As I waited for the police to arrive, my thoughts raced. How had I not seen the signs before? Mark had always been the perfect husband, loving, attentive, kind. But this wasn't just a surprise. This felt like a betrayal.